Hello everyone, Ron Johnson here from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and if you're looking for tips and strategies to help with your learning, you are in the right place. Now before I proceed, I just want to remind you to click on the like button and also click on subscribe. That will really help move this education channel up in the standings. I'd appreciate it so much. Beginnings and endings. I'm talking primarily about when you're writing longer academic pieces, but this applies to standalone paragraphs and to some extent even sentences, which I'll get into in a moment. Why focus on the beginning and the ending of a written document? Well, for one reason, your audience often remembers the beginnings and the endings the most. So that's very important. That doesn't mean you ignore the middle and all of your supports. Those are also important. But if you have a well-constructed speech or essay or presentation, your audience is more likely to remember the beginning and the ending. And the beginning should introduce the audience to what you're going to be writing about or talking about. So for obvious reasons, that's very important. You want to engage them, you want to invite them in, you want to excite them, get them interested in your topic, in your ideas, or in your argument. Of course, if you're writing an essay, it will lead into your thesis. But even your first one or two sentences in a paragraph or in a presentation or speech, book report, all of these can be very important in engaging the audience, capturing their attention. Sometimes they describe it as writing a capture or writing a grabber to try to get your audience interested. So the beginning is very important. It also helps you if you have a strong beginning because you have an outline, you have a plan where you're going in your particular argument or document. The endings are also very important because you want to wrap everything up. You want to remind the reader or the listener, because you might be giving a speech or a seminar or a presentation. You want to remind them of your main theme and your main points and how they all tie together, how it all comes together at the end. So you don't want to just stop. You want to have a proper conclusion, a proper ending to any of the documents that you're doing. And you want to be able to show the audience that you understand what your argument is, you know the details and facts, and here's how they all go together. And that will wrap it up nicely and help the reader or the listener to not only understand what you're saying, but to remember all of the components and why and how they belong together. So having a good, strong conclusion is very important. And I mentioned that this works for obviously longer written articles, but also a standalone paragraph. So if you have a good topic sentence at the beginning of your paragraph, and then obviously you want to have some very good proofs in the middle, you can have quotations, you can have supports from other areas, and then a very good concluding sentence or two at the end that ties that paragraph together. It's just as important. And also the endings of sentences can be strong. Now you want to use a variety of sentences in your writing. I've talked about that before. So you don't want to write every sentence in the same structure or same format. But you might want to go through when you're doing your proofreading and editing and check to see that very important sentences have their strength at the end. And how do you do that? Well, if your sentence has phrases and dependent clauses and independent clauses, try to put the dependent clause at the beginning and the independent clause at the end. So the strength components go phrase is the weakest, dependent strong next, and then independent clause at the end. You don't want to do this all the time, but there are times when you can rearrange a sentence and make it more powerful, make it stronger, and that's one of the ways that you can do that. So beginnings and endings are very important no matter how you look at it when you're writing, because even if you're presenting and giving a speech, you usually write it down first. You could wing it, but that doesn't always work out so well. But even in that case, you want to at least think about how can I engage the audience at the beginning and how can I wrap everything up and convince them at the end. You might even have a challenge at the end, but if you want to persuade the audience members to do something or to take action, you still have to present them with a conclusion that convinces them that you know what you're talking about, that you understand your argument. So it's very important when you're proofreading and editing to just make sure that you do have a very good beginning and a very strong conclusion or a very strong ending. I think that's all I have to say about beginnings and endings for the moment. You can let me know if you have anything to say in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube. Otherwise, you can send me an email. I'll put the email below as well. Also, or you can check out the website and you can contact me through the website. I'll put a link for that below also. In the meantime, keep writing and have fun writing. And give this a try. Try to check your beginnings and your endings. And if it's a longer article like an essay, your introductory paragraph and your concluding paragraph. If it's just a standalone paragraph or a very short article, just check the first couple of sentences and the last and see if they, first of all, if they relate. I should have mentioned that because they really should obviously be related in some way, but you don't want to repeat either. You want to say it in a different way and wrap it all up at the end. All right, it's Ron Johnson from L.T.L Tutoring Central. Keep writing, keep having fun, keep learning, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.